And that all leads us to the stunning teaching that we see in verses 32 through 33, our verses for today. There are many who would say when your life is on the line for the gospel, run for protection. But Jesus says just the opposite. Even when open confession means death, even when persecution rises to this level, even though you are in an environment of hostility, acknowledge that you know me. And then he goes on to say, as you see in verse 33, that if we deny him in such situations, it is a betrayal that we do not have true saving faith. If you deny me in such situations, Christ says, I will also deny you before my Father who is in heaven. That is the clear teaching of verse 33. Now, some have dodged the dire implications of this passage, this clear teaching from Christ's own lips that if we deny him before men, he will also deny us before his Father. And they dodge this by saying, well, Christ was speaking to the apostles and he was not speaking to Christians in general or people in general. And so people that hold to that view, they use that to kind of get around what Christ is saying in the passage. But there's two words here that show us that that interpretation is incorrect. Because notice what he says in verse 32, so everyone. Applies to everybody, every person who's in the pew this morning and the preacher who is in the pulpit. In verse 33, but whoever denies me before men, I will also deny before my Father who is in heaven. So we see two simple words that challenge this interpretation. If we do not confess Christ before men, our faith is not genuine. It is false faith, and it will disappoint us eternally in the end. Do you realize that 11 of the 12 apostles died a martyr's death? We all know that in our head, but has it really sunk down into our hearts and into our psyche and into our soul? I mix and mingle with people sometimes, and I kind of get this line, if I'd just lived in the first century, I would have been the strongest, most dynamic Christian that ever lived. But boy, today it's just so tough. 11 of 12 apostles died martyrs. It is a piece of cake in our day compared to then. The Apostle John was the only one to live to old age. 11 of the 12 apostles gave their lives for the gospel. And think of that in light of verse 16 where Christ said, I am sending you out as sheep in the midst of wolves.